what if I do this? Bink. What if I do this? And they are absolutely wanting to make sure that you have the skills that can take care of them. And you do. Every single person in this room can take care of the kids that walk through that door, regardless of how naughty they can be.
So 2 quick stories, or 2 quick examples. So we gave this presentation in another building, and we were talking about absolutely yes, and finding that in every moment, even when it's not feeling like maybe necessarily the greatest of moments, there's something going right. So we'd given the presentation in the morning. I think we'd literally been gone from the building about 2 hours, and both of us got phone calls from a teacher who was letting us know that one of her students had eloped from the building. And as he was running out the field and towards a really busy road, she was like, man, the only thing in my head was, wow, look at those cut moves. You could be in the NFL. So there's always something going right, maybe not necessarily quite to that degree in that moment, but there are ways to find and honor, even in some of those hard moments, something that that student is doing well. Sometimes it's just that that student showed up. That student walked in the doors of this building. She might have had a really rough day yesterday, but yet there is still a piece of inner strength in that child that they were able to walk in the door today. So even honoring that the smallest of steps towards managing something bigger is great.
They got up, they came to school, and you will not convince me, or either of these ladies, that they have been plotting to piss you off. They don't have that ability. Their brains are not that developed yet. So when they come in, they're flying by the cuff, you know, and they'll come up with a reason. When we talked to our little friend last year, he always had a perfectly rational explanation. That kid did this, and that's what, or last year, you know, she quit talking to me, so I'm hurting her. Well, that's not the real reason. Something took place in their little world that got them off kilter. It could be as simple as a kid with autism had too many waistbands. So the mom said, you know what, we're not wearing underwear anymore. And life was way better for him.
Weird.
Yeah. You know, I should give you a little background. I've worked with really, really naughty kids most of my career. So I'll give you some kind of bizarre examples. They're all true. And you can't always, well, you can always find something going right, but you have to have that lens. Look at, like I'm looking out at this as if it's a still life picture. And what is going right? I've got everybody's eyes on me. That's pretty amazing. You know, I've got people who have, you know, maybe are working on something. They're getting things done. That's amazing. You know, you're dressed for the season. You're all sitting in a chair. You know, he's got on a pink tie. You don't even have to, you can just comment on what's going on, and that's going to be the energy piece.
So my other challenge, just as you kind of think a little bit more about Nurtured Heart and you kind of experience it a little bit in your day, I challenge all of you to go back into your classrooms today, and when you have that moment when everything is going right and everything is going well, pay attention to what you're doing.
It might
typically, it might not be here, but typically what we find is teachers are going, like, if anybody walks in your room, it's going to ruin the mojo of what's going on because everybody's doing exactly what they need to do and it's so quiet. And your energy is way down here. Those are the moments you need to pump your energy and be giving those kids that, hey, I see Brenna. She's doing exactly what she needs to do. Sorry, I just brought up my own child. That was so uncool. I'm sorry. The name just came out. I'm sorry.
She consistently has a vocabulary recall problem.
We'll just say we do this at home a lot too. And even we have to practice on not walking away from those moments when things are going really well, and honor those moments that really are, and give them our energy in those moments. So, but just think about that today. I think oftentimes I walk into a classroom and things are going really well, and you can just tell that like nobody wants to rock the boat because it's really going well and everybody's quiet and doing what they need to do. Not all kids are gonna get that same like awesome feeling from you if you call them out. It's just like all of us. Not all of us like public recognition. So finding even small ways. Well, I used to use little tickets for some of my guys, and some of my guys all had autism, so they in particular didn't like a lot of language that I would throw at them. So we found ways through specific notes and stuff to give them that I would just be able to walk around and I'd be able to place it on their desks, and they knew that I was recognizing them and what they were doing in that moment, and I could be doing it while I was doing content. I had them in my pocket, I had them on the table next to me, and I could just be slipping them out as I'm moving around and doing content teaching.
We also used to give away little colored paper clips, and they were worth prizes. So you could get a colored paper clip and they'd hang them on the wall. It goes really well until one particular student goes and buys his own box of colored paper. And then you just go, oh man, you know. I had a parent once who came in and said, can you explain to me why my daughter wants colored paper clips every time we go to the store? Why, yes, I can. So
I think as a general education teacher, that's also another confusing thing. Really, in all of this, you know, that whole notion, I think we were told, you know, 5-10 years ago, you don't reward expected behaviors. We need to let some of that go. As adults, we are rewarded for expected behaviors. I haven't gotten a speeding ticket, my insurance hasn't gone up. My teenager, however, has, so it did go up. But it's also, we receive rewards, we just don't need to have them called out because we're like adults. Children still may need some of that. They're not quite mature enough or neurotypical thinking in that moment to be able to internalize some of those things. Now, we're not talking you get an M&M every time you blink, but some students may need an external reward until they can feel that deep, care and concern and love within a classroom, and you can then slowly weed some of those things out. I think it's been mixed messages, but kind of like the Atari, things change, and now we're seeing that that's maybe a better way to start with students, and eventually maybe you can weed that off so that you're not going broke in the treasure box. But some students really need that because they don't know. They're really unsure.
So there's a whole lot more we could give you because that's like a 3-hour training in a really fast nutshell. 6, yeah.
I can really drone on.
Is that, excuse me, before you go on, is that training offered in the district at all?
Periodically, we have offered it. Both Elisa and I are trained, and last year we did it for a couple of different groups, and we did it for free. If Pete were to ask, obviously we would do it for free. We do try to set up some things with parents in the evening, and so that's how we've done it. We can do it whenever. Very easy, and so is this one.
Conscious discipline, so the kind of the two big takeaways to take away from conscious discipline is actually, as the adult, you have to be in a state to be able to help children move from their upset state to a more calm state. It's almost like you're borrowing kind of that prefrontal lobe and helping them through some things. We know you can't control someone else's behavior. The only person you can control is you. And that's why it's really important to know what's in your backpack. What did you bring today? Were you on 13 stuck in traffic and you're already kind of like up here? Or did you have a really nice easy drive to work? I had a gentleman go 40 from the roundabout by the golf course all the way here. 40's a little much for me, it feels like 5. So I need to move this along a little bit, sir. Can we go? So that was kind of in my backpack. Is it all of the things that we're bringing to school that we as the adult need to really set aside or honor? And hey, you know what? Today is not my best day. Got some things going on. We're gonna work through maybe our morning routine a little quieter. Those kinds of things. But it's always important to know where you are at before you can help a child. I always think of this similar to when you're on an airplane and the flight attendant is doing the little show of safety. It is crucial in an accident or in a situation that you put on your oxygen mask before you help other people. It's kind of that same philosophy. You need to know where you're at. You need to be okay.